What is today? School is now out, so I really have no clue sense of days. I think it's Friday. Yeah, yesterday was Thursday. Today's Friday, welcome aboard. I got up today, I did emails and crap around the house. I went to the dentist at, remember what time that was even. I wasn't there very long. Said everything's great, looks good, come back later. So that's good news. I came home, I edited a submission video for E39 source. Guy with a 540. That'll publish tomorrow at noon. Tomorrow I will be on the road quite a bit. We'll talk more about that probably tomorrow. In the meantime, it's 3-something. I'm gonna head over to Learn Motorsport. Probably see that nothing else has been done. My guess is the dealer will have been just unresponsive, say they're too busy, and they'll have the pressure plate back on Monday. That's my guess, and then it'll actually be about Wednesday. Hopefully I'm wrong. I'll let you know here in a bit. We got a flashing battery again. These camera batteries seem to be getting worse. I'm only getting about 2 days now out of a battery versus what used to be a week or more. But I had a couple questions from yesterday or 2 days ago's video that I wanted to address. One thing, how was the Genesis? I talked about the transmission. I hate the transmission. I'm not going to discuss that anymore. The engine in that, it's kind of the same deal. You can tell it's really been told to drink as little fuel as possible. If it's in neutral or park or something and you touch the throttle, it'll rev up to whatever RPM you fed it, but then it will kind of hover there for several seconds and then come down slowly. It doesn't feel like the throttle's connected to a whole lot. I think it's just trying to burn all the fuel that you gave it and convert that into energy to be used to propel the vehicle, even though it's in neutral. But it doesn't rev very smooth. It's very smooth. It's very a-traditional compared to how a BMW would rev. Once you take your foot off the gas, it's immediately starting to lower in revs, to drop in revs. But there's that. It has electric steering, which I absolutely hate. You get absolutely no sense of the road condition you're on, the road surface. You just have no feedback to the driver whatsoever in terms of performance or feeling the road. The 330 I got in it and I thought, oh, do I have a flat tire or something? I'm feeling a ton of the road here. And this rack and pinion steering, which after I drive the M5, I hate this steering. The recirculating ball is so much better. But this car feels amazing. It feels powerful, it feels agile, it feels tight, it feels very sporty. The complete opposite of what I'll say in a couple weeks when I'm used to the M5. But in comparison to the Genesis, this feels great. And that doesn't mean the Genesis feels bad at all. It's just a very disconnected feeling. As designed, it's not an R-spec, it's a luxury car. You're not supposed to have any sense of the road or the conditions around you. It's just a quiet, comfortable car to take you from the beauty parlor to the cigar shop, and it does that very well. The other thing I was going to touch on, somebody asked me BMW learning experience. How did I figure that out? I just did. I always wanted, this is going to turn into being a bigger story than you guys want. My battery light's still going here. Back in the day when I was excited about and anticipating a first car, I really wanted a 3 Series. I wanted an E46, 328, 25, 30 sedan coupe. Didn't want the convertible, and I knew I wanted a manual. I thought that was unrealistic. I always figured I'd end up with a Accord or a Civic. My family's always had Hondas. So how do I end up with an E39 M5? I was downtown one night in the summer. It was sitting there for sale. I thought, ooh, an M5. I've heard of that. I kind of know what that is. This is nice. Maybe I'll call the guy, see how many miles are on and all that. So I ended up getting the car, as you know. And I wanted to improve things with it, fix things here and there, and there wasn't much of a knowledge base on it. I just couldn't find a lot. There's virtually nothing on YouTube. Everything that I would find was on M5 board. I find forums to this day to be very hard to read and decipher. You've got to read through hundreds of posts of people saying, hey, me too, blah, blah, blah. None of it's relevant. And also, a lot of that was really old. And people they're referencing or websites or part numbers or pricing, none of that was relevant anymore. I mean, we're talking posts from 02, 04, 2005, 10 years old, decade old content. So I just said, screw it, let's do this ourselves. So Colt and I came up with the idea, let's make a company, a website, a YouTube channel, E39 Source. I was big into YouTube with the tech stuff. I totally dropped the tech stuff when I got into cars. I mean, I've been an end user now for 5 years. And we just decided to make the content that was missing. So we just learned stuff, watch a video here, read a post here, go out and do it. And yeah, we broke stuff. It's like, oh, well, that's not how you do that. And then we would fix it. So it was just a learning experience of knowing what we want and having a basic understanding of how tools and mechanics work. We're fairly mechanically inclined people. And I'm talking about all of present day E39 Source. We know our way around a screwdriver set, shall we say. So we just figured it out. There's still plenty of stuff that I don't know how to do. I can't do building an S62. Could I figure it out? Maybe, but I'm not really willing to take that financial risk of having a more than likelihood of turning the key for the first time and having it detonate, because I'm not doing that. But you know, anything else I'll figure out. I've never paid for an oil change, and I've never paid for brake work, and I never will. And I'm very proud of that. People waste thousands and thousands of dollars by paying dealerships and even independents to take a wheel off a car, open up the caliper, and stick a pad in there. Like that's rocket science. Really, it's just total waste of money. But then again, that's the business. There are old women who can't get out there and jack their cars up. I cannot picture my grandmother changing brake pads, and that's absolutely fine. But there's plenty of guys that waste money on oil changes and paying dealers to change air filters. It's just insane what people do. But anyways, I'm coming up on Lyric Motorsport here in a couple minutes. We're gonna check things out there. And I think that answered your question. How do you learn? You just do it. Or in this day and age, just go watch every single one of my videos twice. Make me some money. In advice, you know, you're never done learning. I don't know shit about these cars in comparison to what there is to know. But you just have to go in it and figure it out. And if you don't know what something does, unplug it and see what happens. Google it, find the fuse diagram. You know, the internet is amazing. There's so many resources, particularly e39source.com/downloads. Go look at that. We have a ton of technical PDFs and manuals and crazy stuff on there that you can find. And what is it, TIS, or what's that website that has like all the wiring diagrams? If you're technically minded enough to know how to read through that, you can see what every module and every pin and every wire does. What's ground, what's power, what's data, signal. It's amazing what's out there. And if we were just smart enough to learn how to read it and apply it, we can do anything we want. So there's a Maserati down there, older silver quadruport, way down there. I'm not going to bother zooming in because this is cooler. It's a brand new R8 with temp tags on it, and then some old, oh, I have no idea what that is. It's a god-awful color. So I met Kenan and Joe at Lyric Motorsport. We were there for like 2 minutes. No progress, absolutely nothing, as I guessed. The dealership has no clue when they're going to be able to find like 30 seconds to do that pressure plate. So, I mean, he's hoping Monday, could be Wednesday, could be Friday, could be the next Monday. The ball's out of our court. It's a huge unknown. So, you know, I could have the car like Monday, or in 2 or 3 weeks. We don't know. It sucks. It totally sucks. Reason it needs to be readjusted is, you know, it was new. It was a new pressure plate. So that was installed when the transmission was put on the engine before it was even put in the car. Since it had to come down to fix that leak, now it needs to be reset since it's already been installed and it's trying to go back in again. So really that leak is kind of the culprit here of at least a 10-day delay, if not going up to 2 weeks or more. So I guess I'll check in Monday, see if we hear anything. If not, I'll just keep going every day for 3 minutes until the dealership can do that job and return the clutch. Today's a long vlog, I know, since I answered those 2 questions. We're gonna keep this short. It's 1:20, we got an early morning tomorrow. Kenan's M5's out in the garage again. We got a little bit of a road trip tomorrow, so tune in tomorrow to see what that's all about. I ended up mowing the yard this afternoon. It's gonna get really cold, actually into the 30s at night. It's gonna rain for a couple days, so I just wanted it done. I got that done. We had a fantastic dinner tonight, and it was a nice evening. So early tomorrow, on the road most of the day, come back here, I don't know, crash and burn, relax probably tomorrow afternoon into the evening, and uneventful weekend really kind of planned here. And then next week I'm just hoping that dealerships get their work done and I get the Silverstone car in the garage by the end of the week. So that's what we're working for. I'm going to bed. I'll talk to you guys tomorrow on Saturday. Hope you had a good week. Good night.